Okay, welcome everybody to our Sukkot memories. It's just such a pleasure to be here with you on Erev Sukkot 5781. And it's such a special time of year. It's our Thanksgiving, it's the harvest, and we have so many memories of Sukkot, our own Sukkot, before we moved to Fountain View, and of course, our very special Fountain View Sukkah. So we're going to begin by hearing from you, your memories. And the first person we're going to hear from today is Shirley Lazar. Shirley, would you go ahead and kick off our memories of Sukkot?
Hi.
Hi, Shirley. Go ahead, Shirley. It's your turn. Shirley, are you going to read?
Okay, are we ready?
Yes, we're ready.
I have pleasant memories of every Jewish holiday, but my memory of the Sukkot holiday spent in Israel was a special experience. I've been to Israel 3 times, but the third time was different because of Sukkot. It was a real learning experience. We took El Al Airlines, never realizing that so many very religious Jews went to Israel at this time. They were so religious that the men aboard prayed a few times a day in the back of the plane. And the other passengers, including myself, were afraid the plane would tip over. El Al serves only kosher food, but it seems not kosher enough for most of the passengers who came on the plane carrying their meals wrapped in foil. The religious women who had been wearing scarves to cover their hair and dressed in long skirts with no makeup disappeared before reaching Tel Aviv airport and reappeared right before landing with the most modern wigs and very fancy clothes and makeup. What a shock and what an amazing change. Our hotel and most of the restaurants all had a sukkah, and we were told we could eat either in the dining room or in the sukkah, but we always chose eating in the sukkah. On every street in Jerusalem, there were several vendors selling lulav and etrog. I don't know if you know what it is, or you probably do, but I have a picture here, and this is the lulav. It shows only 2 branches, but the ones they sell and that they carry around all day have at least 4 branches, or even up to 6. And the leaves are so tiny. The men stand around the vendors all day long, counting each little leaf. Most of them stay there the whole day. Some of them walk away disgusted that they didn't find the perfect one and go over to the next vendor. That too was quite a sight. The entire week of Sukkot was almost impossible to get near the Western Wall. When I did, I was able to push my messages into the wall, something I always do. I was surprised when I rode the hotel elevator as it stopped on every single floor. I was sure something was wrong with it, and I reported it, and they told me, if I learned something new, that the very religious people do not push buttons on major holidays. We stayed an extra 2 weeks after Sukkot, but the plane was still very crowded with dozens of little kids running around and the yeshiva bruchers still praying. I had a wonderful 3 weeks in Israel with my husband, my sister, and brother-in-law. We rented a van and covered the whole of Israel. Being there at Sukkot made it extra special, and I learned a few new things. When I was very young, my maternal grandfather had a permanent sukkah in his backyard. He loved when the grandchildren came into the sukkah. It was quite a treat for us. In later years, my sister and brother-in-law, who lived in North Hollywood, set up a sukkah against their back wall in their backyard. I was in charge of the decorations, and my family and I were invited anytime we wanted to eat. Excuse me, I just sneezed. I was here at Fountain View when they first opened, and I was at this first I was here when the first sukkah was put up. I have several. What's making me sneeze? I several. I was here over 10 years and contributed in helping making some of the artwork used every year in our synagogue, in our sukkah. I think some of it is going to be shown in the halls. Sukkah brings very pleasant memories to me. And it's one of my favorite holidays. Thank you.
Shirley, I'm so touched by your thoughtfulness that you took the time to write down your memories, and how wonderful, Shirley, to be in Israel during Sukkot. What a wonderful experience you must have had. And thank you so much, Shirley, for sharing with us. Appreciate that. And yes, we will definitely see pictures of Fountain View Sukkah later in the program. Okay, I'm going to mute you now, Shirley. Okay, who would like to share next? You know what, I'm just going to call on you in alphabetical order. It'll just make it simple, and you can say anything, something you're grateful for, or a sukkah memory, or both. Let's start with Al and Claire. Al and Claire, would you unmute yourselves and share with us? And Al, we have some of your art, Al, that you made for the sukkah. Yes, and you're going to see a piece of that this year in our lobby.
Oh, that will be nice. Our experience, Claire and I, was really quite unique. My son and daughter-in-law held the sukkah each year, and my son had constructed a large sukkah made out of 2x4 wood and curtains outside the house, of course. And we would go every year. Now this had been going on for almost 20 years. And it was a real pleasure of mine to go to the house. He lived in Tarzana, and help him put it together. And then my daughter-in-law and son would invite us and many other friends and family during the week to eat in the sukkah. Claire, do you have anything?
Yeah, well, you built the sukkah with him from the beginning. Right. And I also have things that are hanging in the sukkah that I did anyhow. And of course, I used to make a lot of food. But also, I had gotten a lot of beautiful things to put in the sukkah. Sue, you might remember, we sold them at Valley Beth Shalom that were hanging. And in fact, my daughter-in-law gave me two of the things to bring here for our sukkah. And it's the two signs to go in and to go out, enter and leave. Anyhow, but we many times, of course, participated. And I miss not having to eat in the sukkah, or the fact that I still don't understand why they couldn't put it up just for us to even look at or maybe walk through, basically. And what was her name? I forgot. I also was on El Al going to Israel, and every time she brought back many memories of the children running around, them standing in the back praying and bringing their own food. Mostly it was salami, and it smelled up the whole plane. Basically, that's all I can remember at this point. But we do miss it. My kids are thinking of trying to put up the sukkah this year, but she can't invite anybody, so they're thinking about it, but I'm not sure whether they're going to do it. Okay, that's our memories. All right.
Thank you, Al and Claire. It's so nice to hear from you, and I love that you have Sukkot memories with your family, building your own Sukkot. Valley Bet Shalom is in there too, and of course Fountain View. So thank you, and we'll see pictures of you later. Okay, the next person, going in alphabetical order. First name is you, Beverly. Okay, Beverly, I got you on Spotlight. Now you have to unmute yourself. Do you see the little red microphone? There you are. Hi, Beverly.
Hi. Okay, I don't have a history with Sukkah, but when I moved in, it wasn't too long before Sukkah was coming. And, I don't know who besides, Laurie will remember Molly. But Molly learned very soon after I moved in that I was an art major, and she grabbed me. She says, "You're going to be on my committee for the Sukkah." So she wanted me to help oversee the volunteers who were going to be decorating it. She says, "You look to see if it looks okay when we're decorating it." In those days, there were some decorations, there were some paintings and artwork, but only covered about half of it and spread out in between all of these. Someone had been collecting greeting cards with pictures that were somewhat appropriate. And there was a big box of greeting cards, and they strung up wires along the sides about waist high, along the whole inside of the sukkah. And the greeting cards got attached to the wires so that the whole place was decorated, even the spaces between the primary pieces of artwork. So that was the project of the committee. And for the next several years, I was on Molly's committee to do that. And then we got some larger donations of artwork, and no need for a committee anymore. The staff needs to be the ones who get up on the ladder. The committee wasn't allowed to get up on the ladder anyway. So the staff puts it all together, and that's including the artwork now. And then we've had some volunteers decorating the tables. No need for a committee anymore. And Molly isn't here anymore either. So that's my history with Sukkah, is only since I've been here. But every year I'm reminded, because I look out my window and I see the structure going up, except for this year. This year I'm looking out my window and I see all the leaves on the top of the walls. And other years I see the pipes, the main structure, and then I see the netting that goes over it. And then I would see all the fall colors on the leaves being fastened to decorate it. And so that's it. Well, what I saw this morning when I went out of my apartment, then I was able to see from the lobby, and it looks beautiful. I'm anxious to take another look. Yeah.
Thank you, Beverly. And we are going to look at pictures later, but I wanted to show you. Can you all see what I'm doing? Here are the cards.
Yes.
Can you see the cards?
Well, I saw them and now I can't. Now it just looks like a dark gray background.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, here they are. Can you see this?
Yes, yes.
There are the cards that Beverly's talking
That's
about,
right. Cards.
and down here is Molly. We were talking about
Oh,
Molly.
yes.
Here's Molly. For those of you who,
Molly Rudin. I don't know if she was using
Molly
Rudin
Rudin.
when she was here.
That's right, Molly. Molly, this is the first year of Sukkot here at Fountain View, but we'll look at more pictures later. Thank you so much, Beverly, for sharing. Our next person is going to be Evelyn. Evelyn, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. Well, my only experiences with Sukkot was at Valley Beth Shalom, which was lovely. And a few times I went to the Sukkot of my my Orthodox contractor. He would invite me for Sukkot. But my most memorable memories are here at Fountain View. It's always been very lovely. I'm sorry we don't have it this year, but I do appreciate that they're decorating downstairs. And I'm just so grateful to be here and to enjoy it here. And that's about all I have to say, because I don't have too much experience with it.
Okay, thank you, Evelyn. And Evelyn has been on the decorating. You know, there's always that day where we decorate, and we have residents come into the sukkah and help stuff leaves into the sticks and flowers, and Evelyn has done that in the past. So you've been a part of the sukkah team.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, thank you, Evelyn. I'm going to put you on mute. Carmela. So Carmela, what I need you to do is actually unmute the phone. Is Ann there with you? Okay. Is Ann there? What I need you to do is actually unmute the phone and hit *6. And if you could unmute the phone so that we can hear her and hit *6. Okay. Hi.
I'm going to take you to 1940. That was during World War in Israel. We were World War II. My daughter corrects me. So we are in the balcony, and my father built the sukkah on the balcony. Now my sister and me are the decorators. But being the Second World War, the siren went on, and we had to run to the shelter. So we all ran to the shelter in the middle of decorating the sukkah. When we came out after it was over, we had no sukkah because, I don't know if from the siren or what, the whole sukkah collapsed. So we had to start all over again. So that was a big memory.
Wow, that's a very unique memory of Sukkot.
We are still remember it because the whole atmosphere of World War II and the children, and you are decorating, and all of a sudden you have to run to the shelter and no sukkah.
Well, thank God you were safe. You and Sam were safe. And tell us about celebrating Sukkah in Israel through the years. Was it something that most people did? Did most people build sukkahs in Israel, Carmela?
On every balcony you saw a sukkah. If there were one storage houses, which were plenty there, so it's usually in the backyard, and people are doing it together, and it's a happy holiday. Because
Beautiful.
many songs are special for the Sukkot, special when you go to nursery school?
I don't know any songs for Sukkot, Carmela.
Oh, you don't tell me I should sing now. And when I will see you, I will sing in your ear secretly.
Okay, you'll have to teach me.
I will sukkah, clap, 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 and you make as if you are holding a hammer and nails and you are clapping and build the sukkah.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for sharing your unique experience, Carmela. Okay, I'm going to put you back on mute. And now the next person we're going to hear from, Rabbi Tomsky. Rabbi, could you unmute yourself? And I'm loving how many of you have experience in Israel with Sukkah. Okay, we're just waiting for Rabbi. Rabbi, the red microphone, you see the red microphone on your screen? You just need to click on it until it goes away. Okay, there you are. Hello, Rabbi.
Hi, thank you. Well, we had a lot of experiences with Sukkot and the Sukkah. It's always been a very pleasant holiday because we are told in the Bible to rejoice, samachti v'chagecha, to rejoice on Sukkot, and it's quite a change from the high holidays spirit, where we recant and repent and reconcile and find atonement at one with ourselves, with God, with our fellow man, and then start over again in the new year. And first thing we do is to have a sukkah and build one. When I was at the seminary in New York, Jewish Theological Seminary of America in New York City, we lived in the Juilliard Apartments right across the street from the seminary. And when Juilliard School of Music was on the corner of our block at that time. And we, as a number of our families, built a sukkah on the roof of the apartment building. But we had some, during the week, some strong winds came and blew it apart, and the sukkah collapsed. So that was the end of our sukkah on Sukkot that one year, I remember. Of course, the seminary had a sukkah, so that's where we went. When we had our own home in Sun Valley, California, outside of Burbank. We had a lovely backyard, and our home had a overhang, and we built a beautiful sukkah every year. There was some part structure to begin with the walls and the structure of the overhang, but we always finished it up and put the sides up and decorated. My wife enjoyed decorating it, all kinds of pictures and hanging fruits and all the rest that goes with making a sukkah. And I would get on a ladder and throw the fronds. The city used to deliver a bunch of the sechach, the branches from the cut down from the trees, and dump a bunch of them at the synagogue, and whoever wanted sechach for the sukkah to throw on top of the sukkah, make the top covered, could have as much as they wanted. So we always got sechach, and I would get on a ladder. My wife would hand me up a bunch of sechach, and I would toss it up on top of the roof of the sukkah that we had. And then we always had open house for our congregation to come and join with us on Sukkot. So it's really quite a nice experience because we had a beautiful sukkah, and we had refreshments out for everybody. And it was very joyous memories that I have of the celebration of Sukkot with the sukkah. Sad to say we don't have one here this year. We're celebrating Sukkot without a sukkah, but I understand the reasons for that, and the decorations outside are very nice. We'll feel the experience of Sukkot by just looking at these decorations and remembering our own experiences of having a sukkah. So I thank you for listening, and let's celebrate. We are supposed to rejoice and celebrate on Sukkot. Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely, Rabbi. And I loved your sharing from the balconies of New York to Sun Valley. I love hearing all these memories. So thank you so much, and thank you for giving us the background. Okay, I hear Mike Morocco is next. Mike and Vivi. Mike, don't go anywhere. It's your turn, Mike, but I just need you to unmute. You just muted yourself, so go ahead and unmute. There you go. Go ahead and hit the red little microphone. The red microphone, just click on that.
Okay.
There they are.
Okay.
Hi, Mike and Vivi. Hag Sameach.
I would like to tell some of my stories from being in Ramat Gan in Israel and growing up over there. We lived in an apartment house, was a few stories high, and the roof was the perfect place for a sukkah. So my friends and neighbors, same age, we built a sukkah, and then we decorated it. And one of the things we did was one of the walls we made into a curtain. So then in the evenings when the family came to eat and all that, all the families, we opened the curtains and we performed Sukkot songs and dances. And when it was done, we closed it, and it was a regular sukkah. And we used to do it for many, many years. It was a lovely experience, and it was a wonderful feeling of a holiday. It was always a good feeling of a holiday because we lived not too far from two synagogues. So the feeling on the street was holy. That was my experience.
Wow, that sounds so fun and festive. And I've decided that next year when we're all together, you and Carmela have to put on a sukkah show for us, okay?
She wasn't in my group.
Because there's so much I love. There's music, there's performance. I love it. And that sounds just joyful and fun. What wonderful memories. And what about you and Mike? Did you build or do anything for Sukkot when you moved to America?
We had a sukkah that Mike built, and every time I think it was Chabad would bring the schach to put on the roof. It was a big sukkah, and the whole family enjoyed just celebrating, and we decorated it, and it was a good feeling.
That's beautiful. That's lovely. Thank you, Vivi. Thank you, Mike, for sharing. Next, we are going to hear from the Richters. Okay, Sue Richter.
Well, everybody brought back memories. Our first trip to Israel was during this time, and looking up at the little balconies, and they were not much bigger than the ones we have here, and they were all decorated. It was fabulous, and seeing the men with the shrummels and walking with the lulav in the etro, and it really was terrific. We had a gazebo in our house, and we enclosed that until we had too many kids. Then we enclosed our patio, so to speak. But I think the memories I've enjoyed the most are the ones here. I have really enjoyed decorating the sukkah and eating dinner in it and being with people. Alavai, we will be back to that soon. That's all.
Oh, that's beautiful. And another memory of Israel. And yes, absolutely, Sue, you definitely were a big part of our sukkah decorating, and we're going to see pictures of you and your beautiful needle. Talk a little bit about your needle art before we move on to the next portion.
Well, the first year we were here, and I looked around and I thought, God, I'd like to do something. So I went online and I kept looking until I found the one I wanted. And I didn't care for their ideas on yarn and stitches, so I did my own. And Amber and Shelley were nice enough to say, I said I wanted to give it to them. And they really went above and beyond by putting it in the lobby. And I really enjoyed doing it, very, very much.
And that beautiful piece of art is in the lobby year-round for us to enjoy. Thank you, Sue. We're going to see pictures of you very soon. Dorothy Feldman is on the phone. Dorothy, if you could hit *6 to unmute yourself. If you want to share, Dorothy, maybe someone can help you. If you have a story to share about Sukkot, I mean, you've only lived 105 years, so maybe there's one Sukkot story in there. Maybe someone has to help you. Penny, just hit *6 on the phone. And if not, then you will just listen to the rest of our program. Okay, I think Dorothy's just going to listen, and that's just fine. So we are going to move on to the next portion of our program. Can you all, Sue, can you see, just nod your head. Can you see the screen that I have on? Just nod your head, thank you. And, oh, that's interesting, I can't go to the website. Okay, this is a learning experience for me. So here we are, and let me stop this for a second. Hold on, everyone. This is a learning experience for me, too. Give me a second. So we're going to visit some websites, and we're going to see some pictures. If it lets me. There we go. Okay. Now I should be able to take you. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Sue, can you see this? Just nod. I'm going to pick on you a lot because for whatever reason, you're the only person I can see. Here we go. So this was really fascinating. I found this, and this is an art exhibit of Sukkot at Tel Aviv University. So this is kind of your abstract Sukkot. Here we go. The first one we can see is representing Brazilian Jewry. You can kind of see a very tropical look. The second one here is representing Uzbekistani Jewry, and it's titled The Sukkah of Peace. The third Sukkot is representing Moroccan Jews. And this is one of my favorites. This beautiful sukkah is built in the tradition of a Jewish community of India with all those colors and fabrics. The next one we're looking at is in the tradition of Ethiopian Jewry, and most of which immigrated to Israel in 3 secret airlifts in the 1980s. The Ethiopians came. This next one is representing German Jewry and Jews who returned to Germany after the fall of the former Soviet Union. Now this one was interesting. This is what they call an Israeli sukkah, but it's actually not kosher because a kosher sukkah, the tree is not considered to provide shade. The tree provides shade, but to be a sukkah, the shade has to come from the branches placed on top. So that's why that tree and the sukkah is not kosher. And again, these are abstract art pieces. And then here we go. Here, this little modern sukkah is representing American Jewry. So I'm interested to hear your interpretations of that one. Okay. So next, we are going to go to the most beautiful sukkahs in Israel. I think you'll really like this one. We're going to share screen. Here we go. Sue, can you see this? Yes, the 9 of the most beautiful. Here is a gorgeous sukkah, which looks more like a wedding. This is sukkah at the Waldorf Astoria in Jerusalem. And just look at the fountain in the middle. Look at all these grapes. Is this not the most elegant sukkah? Gorgeous. And here is the president's sukkah. So every year the president has a sukkah. Another picture of the president. Here's another picture of the Waldorf Astoria, just a different angle. You can see better the roof here. And here's another beautiful sukkah, which looks more like a wedding. This is in the courtyard of the Jerusalem's Inbal Hotel. And you can kind of see the bamboo up above. And they have chandeliers hanging from this sukkah. It's like go big or go home. Here's a beautiful outdoor sukkah. You can see the lights overlooking Jerusalem. And this is inside a kibbutz's sukkah, just cute. This has a more deserty feel. And I love this one. This is the Aish HaTorah Center in Jerusalem. And look at this. It just makes you want to sit down and have a cup of coffee like they do in the desert. And again, just beautiful things hanging. Tel Aviv, just one in the public. And you're going to see more of this. The Samaritan Sukkah. This is fascinating. We're going to see more of that in just a minute. Okay, we're leaving that website, and we're going to go now to my document. So, Sue, can you see my yellow page? Yes, great. So the first picture we have was from actually downtown Detroit. And they, again, kind of like an art exhibit, they built these sukkahs. And you can see they're all very modern looking. So I just love all the different interpretations. This is at Canary Wharf. I don't know what city that is, but this is a very modern sukkah. And some of the, I don't have locations for all of these. Some of them I do, and I will tell you. So this must look so familiar. Here, some of you were talking about seeing Sukkot on balconies. This is in Williamsburg, a very Orthodox community in New York. So I'm sure that reminds you of a scene somewhere in Israel or New York. Here we go. I love this. Can you see what is on the boat? A little sukkah on the boat. And it looks like Venice based on these poles. That was unexpected. Not sure how kosher that is, but I love the effort. And then here's someone who got really modern. They said, I'm putting air conditioning in my sukkah. People are amazing. Now we have some very artistic sukkahs, beautiful, elegant. I mean, this is gorgeous. How could you just leave this up 1 week? People decorating, all kinds of decorations, very elegant. Do use sukkah. Someone used, they put a lot of effort into this. They constructed, this is a real wood. And then palms on top, and I love the Jewish star. This is gorgeous. This is downtown New York, Midtown. Chabad Lubavitch wishes you a happy Sukkot. That's amazing just that they would put these sukkahs in public for people to come see. This one's really cool. This is Congregation Beth Elohim in New York. Just look at that construction. I mean, it's so geometric and abstract. Just so people get so creative. Okay, I had to have a little fun. We have a Lego sukkah. And someone got really cute with a graham cracker sukkah. I look at, that's pretty, oh, it's just graham crackers, pretzels, and parsley. I mean, what a great thing to do with your grandchildren or great-grandchildren. Now here is the most amazing thing I learned about on my research, the Samaritan Jews. And I'm just going to read this because it's really interesting. While Jews around the world are celebrating Sukkot, the Samaritan community in Holon are taking part in the harvest holiday with unique traditions different from traditional Jews. Our traditional holiday was observed by the family going out to pick fruit. We look for the prettiest and strongest fruit we can find. This is a very complicated job. Every family has their own design. Unlike the descendants of the tribe of Judah, the Samaritans define themselves as the descendants of the sons of Joseph, and they believe only in the Torah and have never left the borders of Israel. Unlike the Jewish Talmudic interpretations of the four species, Samaritans use what is prescribed in the Torah as any citrus fruit. Another difference between the two is the sukkah itself. Whereas traditional Jews erect their sukkahs outside the house, Samaritans construct theirs within the home. They explain many years ago when we would live in Arab communities and build our sukkot in the yards, we would get harassed. So we love our sukkot and we wanted to protect them, so we moved them inside. Where we can have them and have our ancient custom and be protected by being inside the home. The elegant sukkah of the Samaritans is designed in accordance with the ancient tradition of using dozens of kilograms of fruit picked by family members. So here are some pictures. I mean, can you look at this work? This is unbelievable. Just the design, the work. I've never seen anything like this. I didn't even know it existed until I was putting this together for you. So there you go. Wow, my goodness. Well, I'm glad it's fruit that lasts a long time. After it's done, hopefully they can use the fruit. Pretty amazing. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is what you've all been waiting for. We're gonna now visit pictures of the Fountain View Sukkah. Hold on one second, I have someone waiting to get admitted. Okay, so here we go. All right, Sue, can you see yourself? Yes, she can. Okay. So now we want to just close up by remembering our own beloved sukkah, and we remember our sukkah with gratitude and joy, not grief and sadness, but gratitude for all the memories that we've had. And we know that we will have this sukkah again in the future. It is waiting for us. It's not going anywhere. So first, of course, we have to feature those who have helped decorate the sukkah. Here's Sue with her beautiful picture. Al helping put up leaves and corn. Bobby and Evelyn also decorating. And these pictures, most of them are from last year, 2019. Some of them are from 2018, a few from 2017, and one from 2015. So I didn't go back too far. Okay, here we have Sally and Joyce Edelman and everyone coming together to decorate and be a part of this. And this is a great picture because it really shows the height. You see Sue reaching up there to stuff the leaves so that we have decoration from the ground to the ceiling. Here's a picture of our volunteers from last year who decorated. And here's some lovely memories of dining in our sukkah. The Levies with Norman Miller, Harry Schrag, Ellie Zev, Rabbi Tomsky with Sonny Bell, Jerry Kernick and Ruth Zelznick toasting L'chaim, Lee Hahn with Reggie and Ricky, Kay with Sheila and Vivian, and you get to see all the beautiful things behind. So much work that went into this. Here's a cute picture of Zita and Sally enjoying being in the sukkah after coffee. Here's a great picture of some of you that are on the phone, Sue and Mort, Ruth and Ed. Mike and Vivi, and Joan Silver. Coincidentally, it's Joan's birthday today. Mike and Judy and Ingrid and her daughter. And here's a picture. I had to go back to 2015 to look for a picture of Paula because she joins a lot of these Zooms and I wanted her to be on here. Here's Evelyn with Paula and the late Lily and Raphael, who is such a kind lady. We have Charlotte and Shani. And of course, it wouldn't be Sukkah without our Jewish Activities Committee saying the prayers for us to welcome Sukkot and Shabbat. We have Rabbi Tomsky, Eli Zev, and John Byer standing at the head table there. Here is Carmela and Anne. I had a feeling you'd be on today, Carmela, so I loved this picture. There's Al and Claire enjoying eating in the sukkah. Fran toasting, L'chaim, Joy and Jerry. And I had to get a picture of Nate in here, and there's a great picture with Nate and Jack. And finally, the last picture is an empty picture of the sukkah. And this really touches me because this really just captures the essence of sukkah. And I just want to believe this is our sukkah in the future. This is our sukkah next year that is waiting for us to be in together. So that is our program. Does anyone have anything they want to share? I would love to hear just kind of final closing remarks. I want to say I'm so grateful that we have this technology, that we can be together. Because even though we're not in our sukkah together, we are together, we're remembering together, we're celebrating together. You can all go down to the lobby, see the wonderful work Carolyn and Joel have done, and enjoy remnants of sukkah. So anyone have anything? Sue, you unmuted yourself.
Just thank you, Lori. It did bring back wonderful memories, and we will be together next year.
Amen. 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 Rabbi Tom.
I'd like to share.
Okay.
Well, you know,
Yes, Rabbi.
when we sit in a sukkah, we are free from our own homes and the cars and the electronic stuff that we use. We're sitting in a sukkah. It's a temporary shelter, but it's decorated with the symbols of God's providence. All these hanging fruits and the gourds and all that stuff. It just makes you mindful of the gifts that have been given to us by the Almighty. So when we sit in the sukkah surrounded by the symbols of God's providence, it should elicit from us a sense of gratitude. That's what sukkah means to me, and I hope it means that much to you as well, that it elicits from us a sense of gratitude, to be grateful for the blessings of life that we enjoy, not to take for granted, but to be grateful for what we have and to thank God for our blessings.
Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. That was beautiful. Carmela first. Carmela, go ahead.
I want to thank you, Lori. You are doing a marvelous job. Through not only for the Sukkot, through the whole thing. And I don't see Caroline here, so she should get the compliment too. Excellent to the whole situation.
Thank you so much, Carmela.
I will put it down for you guys. You girls, the two of you.
Thank you, Carmela. We appreciate it so much, and we're doing everything we can. And it means it's very rewarding to be able to lift up people's spirits during this time. Thank you, Carmela. Okay. Anybody else have anything to share before we call it a day? I want you all to be able to go down and see the lobby. It's really coming along beautifully, and I think you'll be so happy with what we were able to do given the circumstances. So if not, I think we can say Chag Sameach. Join us at 4 o'clock. Yeah, join us at 4 o'clock for the prayers, the blessings to welcome Shabbat and Sukkot. And Happy 2020. Happy 5781, everybody. 5781. May it be a healthy and happy year.
From your
Thanks,
mouth to
everybody.
God's ears.
Amen. Thank you, everybody. Lashana Tova.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. You did a fantastic job digging up all those photos. We don't give you enough credit. We really don't.
That's right.
And we
Thank,
really
thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Laurie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Lashana Tova, I'm going to end the meeting now, everyone. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Join us at 4 o'clock for Shabbat. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bye.